This is so. All right, I'm gonna try not to get myself in trouble. So, I've been here for a lot of years and through a lot of budget seasons, and normally it's like the people in the audience against us, or maybe against the mayor. But I got to tell you, this has been like one of the most divisive proposals since I've been here. And I'm being very frank, candid. I know I'm going to get in trouble. But I see this division along class lines, along all sorts of different lines, young versus old, manufacturing jobs versus service and white-collar jobs. And it troubles me because, actually, for every child that gets pre-K, its parents may make $150,000. The child whose mom makes $10,000 doesn't get one because we're making choice because this is unlimited. And it troubles me that whenever there's a serious conversation about funding this, because I believe everybody should have everything, right? I mean, that's normally what we promise as politicians when we're out campaigning, and then reality sets in. You got to make decisions. But every time there seems to be a conversation about a broad-based revenue source, it seems to get rebuffed. Every imaginable reason why you can't do it. I mean, the notion that you're sitting here talking about a container tax, you can't do it because it's not going to be enough revenue. And I think everybody in this room on this side of the rail knows it's not going to be a 3-cent an ounce tax unless something's going on that I don't know about. So the notion that you're going to raise the revenue to do all of the programs, it's probably not realistic. But when there's a conversation about doing something, and I don't know where I am. I talked to the mayor directly because I think that's the way it should be. I have those conversations. I want to help the mayor. I want to help the administration. And more importantly, I want to help the citizens in the city of Philadelphia. But when I'm hearing that this is going to be universal pre-K, which I guess we all support, although I'm telling you, and I'm too old for this now, but if I had a kid in pre-K, I don't think that the taxpayer should have to pay for that. I should be able to pay for that. But the conversation about it not being, and I'm not trying, and I'm not trying to do it for applause or anything. Every now and then I just, I'm supposed to be, conducting the hearings and just kind of not give my opinion, but, So I guess I'm saying that the notion that it can't be some sort of a universal or broader-based funding source for this is beyond my comprehension. When everybody in the city, I'm sure when we're looking at rec centers, and I've heard from some members, there might be rec centers that are going to be proposed that are going to be in areas where there's projected growth as a result of quote-unquote gentrification. And that's okay, because you got to provide support for everybody. So I don't know why, and I'm not saying I'm voting for the container tax. I think it's a laudable idea. If there's a conversation about a broader-based tax that everybody should pay, this notion that, only the poor people should pay, because you all know, you saw the map up there where all of these stores are that are selling this product. It's going to be in low-income neighborhoods. That's just a fact, right? So I think that, people should take a little more serious the notion of having a broad-based tax, and maybe not this year, but maybe in future years as we try to get to 10,000. If you're saying that's the number, because I thought it was 65, but whatever it is, that we can't keep going to a source that is going to diminish, not necessarily because of the consumption, but just generally the industry in terms of soda consumption is going down, and the revenues associated with that are going to go down. So we got like a week, 2 weeks to finish this up, and we're going to probably do something, I would hope. I would ask the administration to take a little more seriously about a broader-based revenue stream and a more fair and equitable revenue stream to just simply, as my good friend Harold Jackson from the Philadelphia Inquirer editorial board, who never agrees with me, said on Inside Story that this was the least path of resistance, poor people. I really would like us to, as we move through this process, and as I say, not just today and not just this budget, but in a longer term conversation, let's really talk about broadening the responsibility for making sure that our kids who are the most important aspect of what we do in our neighborhoods and our city. We take it a little more seriously than coming up with some of the stuff that I've heard. And with respect to the container tax, why it won't generate revenue, it'll generate the revenue. It's just a matter of the rate if you want it, you know. And if it does generate the revenue, we pass it. You know, is the administration not going to do the programs because it wasn't a sugary tax? I would think not. I would hope not. So that's over the next week and a half, and this is more of an internal game plan. Can we have a little, you know, we'll sit down and kind of talk about, you know, not only short-term, a little longer-term strategy for doing the things we need to do in the city that has some shared responsibility and not just simply targeting one particular category of individuals, all right? So I know that wasn't a question, but I'm just had to put it out there, you know, because I'm serious about this. I'm really concerned about some of the stuff that I've seen going on in our city about this particular issue. Yes, Ms. Daniel.
Yeah, we're happy to continue the discussions. Obviously, we meet with your staff on a regular basis.
I'm sorry, say that. Could you bring that a little closer?
I'm sorry, yeah. We meet with your staff on a regular basis. We're happy to continue those meetings and to talk about a way that's going to fund the programs. Obviously, the
yeah, but I know, but we've been meeting,
that.
and every time something gets posed to you all, you're like, hey, okay.
And I think we've reviewed them, and we're happy to continue those discussions in a real full way.
Yeah, but I know, and continue the discussions, because we've been talking about this for 2 months, you know, and I've said stuff, and, you know, we had 2 months of hearing, and one of my people said, well, they don't know, Councilman, the press doesn't know. I'm sorry to bring you guys into it. Press doesn't know what you guys are talking about. I said, well, we've been having 2 months of hearing, right? I mean, so I'm saying you can talk, but then you can talk. So all I'm saying is you know, seriously, folks, I hate to bring this public, well, you know, we got to really start talking about some kind of barter-based strategy and just simply going after taxing poor people. You know, when the testimony is inconsistent with the reality of saying, one hand, you say you want to deal with health, and then I look at the health budget, we got an increase of $1 million in the health department's budget, and none of it is going towards obesity. All right, it's going towards raises and family center. You know, so that's, you know, that's all I'm saying. I'm gonna get off my little soapbox, and I'm gonna call on the next member.